Hey folks, BlackCross here, and welcome to another discussion video. With this particular discussion video, I wanted to kind of bring this up to light since I've had so many people actually asking me this question. And that is, of course, in regards to the PlayStation 5. It's kind of weird too, considering the fact that the information is out there right now for the internet, but unfortunately, the sad thing is this, is that the right questions aren't being asked. And so, it's up to me, someone who has actually degraded to a point to where I've had to break down what needed to be asked versus what is already virtually available to us. And that is, of course, the PlayStation 5 and everything that is surrounding the particular system itself. So allow me to give you everything you need to know about the PlayStation 5. First and foremost, the two systems itself. So Sony has given us two systems. There is the standard version and then there is the digital version. Now you're probably asking yourself, is there a major difference between the two consoles? And the answer is nothing beyond what is stated. In other words, in terms of hardware as well as the performance of the system, both systems will perform the same. They both have the same amount of components as well as the same amount of storage, space, etc. The only difference is that the standard version allows you to read physical disc. The digital version is only digital only, meaning that you only download games onto the system. So depending on who you are, you may want to go for one or the other. If you're the type of person who prefers physical games and you value physical games versus digital, then the standard version is what you would need to go, which is $499.99. If you're the type of person who downloads games only, and you've only downloaded the games, then you only need to get the digital version, which is $399.99. And of course, the release date for the PlayStation 5 in America and other places in certain countries will be November 12th, while everywhere else will get theirs on November 19th. The biggest thing, and one that is actually the mandatory subject when it comes to the PlayStation 5, is of course the game library. Now, I could tell you the whole list of games that are available for the PlayStation 5, but before I do that, allow me to tell you something interesting, and that is games that was supposedly exclusive to the PS5, but are actually available for the PS4 as well. This is a completely game changer, meaning that if you're not able to get a PlayStation 5 right off the bat, you don't have to worry. You can still get certain games that are available for the PlayStation 5 if you so desire. For example, the main ones being that of Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. I hope I pronounced that last name right. I probably butchered that real badly. But also Sackboy A Big Adventure, Horizon Forbidden West, Kena Bridge of Spirits, Gotham Knight, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, and the list goes on from there technically. The only reason why I'm mentioning those titles is because those are some of the games that people have been asking me, are they exclusive only to the PlayStation 5? And the answer is no. You will still be able to get them for the PlayStation 4. And what's really cool about this is, even if you only have the PlayStation 4 physical version, you can still upgrade them to the PlayStation 5. Obviously, when you put in your physical edition of the PlayStation 5, as it runs the PlayStation 4, it will have the free upgrade for the PlayStation 5 version. So in other words, you're playing a lower grade version of the game that was going to be released for the PlayStation 5. So if you didn't want to get the PlayStation 5 on year one, you can still get these games for the PlayStation 4. Then when you finally do get the PS5, you can run those games on the PlayStation 5, and they will be upscaled to where it would be running as though as if you got a PlayStation 5 version of that game. And I love that. I love the fact that these companies are actually thinking about it, and they're realizing not a lot of people are going to be buying a PlayStation 5 on year one. So we're going to give them the option to get the PlayStation 4 version, and then later on, if they want to get the PlayStation 5, they will be able to get that free upgrade and not have to worry about repaying for a game that they have bought for, which is nice. Sadly though, this is not confirmed for a few other titles. Two particular ones being that of Demon's Souls Remake, as well as Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. These two are the only games that are only available for the PlayStation 5. Now, while Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart does not have a set release date, Demon's Souls does have a release date and is conveniently on the day that the PlayStation 5 gets released. So in other words, Demon's Souls is PlayStation 5's launch title. Another question that people have asked me is that, is it backwards compatible? Now, this is a touchy subject, and unfortunately I had to describe it to them saying they're going the same direction that Microsoft went, but technically, now that we've been a little bit more exposed to the element, now it understands and makes sense for why they would say this, because some companies don't want it backwards compatible, but it also depends on the development team behind that game per se. According to Sony, they state they want all of their games that was available for the PlayStation 4 to be played on the PlayStation 5, but they want to make certain that it gets upscaled to that of the PlayStation 5's quality of hardware. In other words, it will take benefits that the hardware of the PlayStation 5 has and upscales the game. A few of these titles are confirmed, being that of The Last of Us Part 2, Bloodborne, I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy VII Remake is also on that list, so on and so forth. But for the most part, according to what is stated, at least 99% of all PlayStation 4 games will be backwards compatible for the PlayStation 5. If you have a list of PlayStation 4 games that you have physically owned, they can be played on the PlayStation 5, and to a certain degree, some of them will be upscaled to better quality. Now, the question that did not get answered is that even if it doesn't get upscaled, can it be played on the PlayStation 4? Unfortunately, that has not been confirmed by Sony themselves. For all we know, they may be able to be played on the system and not have the upgrade, or it may not even be playable at all, but we won't know until the system actually comes out, to where we will actually have a full list of games that are not playable on the PlayStation 5. But for the time being, we can only assume that 99% of all of your library of games that you own will be able to be played on the PlayStation 5. And even if you only get the digital version, Sony has also classified that if you have the PlayStation Plus membership, the majority of the games that you have that are only for the PlayStation 4, you can re-download them onto the PlayStation 5 with the PlayStation Plus membership. So in other words, Bloodborne, Last of Us Part 2, Spider-Man, they've got a list out there, so trust me whenever I say this, the fact of the matter is, even if you only have the digital version, and you're afraid of having to re-buy certain PlayStation 4 titles to play them onto the console, you don't have to worry. So long as you have a PlayStation Plus membership, they are virtually free. Naturally, that means you actually have to keep the subscription in order to keep the game digitally and play it at any time, but it's only a $50, $60 yearly fee, so depending on who you are, this might be a good thing, because that means that even though you don't have it physically and you only got the digital version, that means that you can download most of the PlayStation 4 library onto the PlayStation 5 and be able to play them regardless. Now, another question that I've had, and unfortunately I don't have a positive answer about this one, and that is, will it be backwards compatible for PS1s, 2s, and 3s? Unfortunately, I'm afraid I cannot answer that at this moment in time, because as of right now, it is set as a rumor. But for the time being, assume that the PlayStation 5 will not be backwards compatible for 1, 2s, and 3s. It's only for most PlayStation 4 titles. But anyway, that's about it for the video. I wanted to put this together because I've had so many people asking me this question, and I'm kind of surprised that not a lot of people have a good amount of knowledge when it comes to the PlayStation 5. Then again, there were some information that was thought to be exclusive to the PlayStation 5, but it turns out they'll also be available for the PlayStation 4 as well. So this is something that needs to be clarified, important information that you guys need to know. If there's anything you need to know at all whatsoever, I will do the best that I can to answer, but for the time being, I will leave a link in the description box below with two particular links. One of them being the official PlayStation blog post that talks about the PlayStation 5 in detail, as well as a website that tells the list of games that will be available not just for the PlayStation 5, but also for the PlayStation 4 as well. So in other words, if for some reason you're not able to pre-order a PlayStation 5, don't worry, you're not going to miss out on much, just maybe Demon's Souls and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, depending on who you are. Those are the only two main titles that I know of that are not playable for the PlayStation 4, only PS5 only. So, but who's to say? For all we know, maybe we might get an update as it gets closer to the system's release, but who's to say? But for the time being right now, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.